right. So I wanted to take you through a new tool, the Facebook Business Suite. It all feels, you have the business manager and now you have the business suite, and some people have the business manager and some people don't, and half the people that have the business manager have no idea they have the business manager. So Facebook's rolled out a new product, and it's been rolling out over probably the last like couple years. So it's in true Facebook fashion confusing as always. But I actually did a pretty deep dive into it for this month's blog, and we've been testing some of the features here at LA Social Karma, and I like the product actually. I mean, I think it definitely has a lot of places where it could grow, and it's not quite as dynamic as, some of the third-party tools that we use to manage social and schedule and things like that, but it's still awesome. So I just wanted to show you. I'm going to take you through all the tedious things so you can see for yourself. So basically, the way you log into this is you're going to go to business.facebook.com. This is actually the same way that you would log into your business manager. So if you had a business manager in the past, or if you had a business manager, it's most likely that you're going to be directed to the Facebook Business Suite. I've started to notice that on our own account now, whereas before we would always log into the business manager, and then we didn't even have the suite for a really long time. So anyways, you'll know you're in the business suite because you'll see on the left-hand side where it says Facebook Business Suite, and then you'll see your logo here. And if you have multiple pages, you'll also see your multiple pages there. So anyways, so you have here, I kind of think about this either as your quick access bar or your main menu. And these are going to take you through all the different features available. So let's just start with the home page. So and the homepage is nice. I think if you think of it like a dashboard to manage your social media, that would be good to do. So you pulls in your cover photo into the business suite. This is really just for aesthetics, nothing more. But I do kind of like it for branding purposes. It's sort of fun. And then if you look here, you'll have your logo pulls in of your Facebook business page. And this is kind of cool because you can actually click over quickly to view your page, and it'll open up your page directly there without having to log in through your personal Facebook page. So I do like that, especially for us because we manage a lot of different accounts, but just in general, like I'm sure you've experienced, when you log in through your personal Facebook page to access the business pages, you end up going down a rabbit hole. Oh, friends' vacation photos and stuff like that. So this is a much more streamlined way to do it, so you don't waste, so you don't fall into the pit of social media. And then the other cool thing is you can actually edit the page from here, and then you can see general information about it, and you can also assess the settings as well. So that's pretty cool, just quick access. And then for Instagram, you can also click quickly to view the profile. And I like that too. It just takes you there directly, and you can just log in to your business account there. So then here your business page will be displayed, and then the accounts you have attached. I'm curious, I'm not sure because I don't use WhatsApp on these business pages, but I would have guessed probably if you had WhatsApp attached, it might also display here. Not for sure on that. Someone else will have to comment and let me know. So here, these are just quick access buttons. So here you can do promote. So this promote is their sort of simplified Facebook ads. I mean, I guess it makes it easier, but I do think it's worth learning the Facebook Ads Manager because you just have so much more control over placements. You have much more control over targeting. And from what I've seen, a lot of the Facebook recommendations are not always accurate. Like if you ever look in the back end of your Facebook Ad Manager, it'll tell you like an ad's doing like really well. And if you look at your results, like if you have a landing page or something, like if you're collecting emails or whatever, like what Facebook says is not what's actually happening. So I don't know about them setting up the ads for you and them taking control of targeting and stuff. So it is a much simpler way to dabble in the Facebook ads, but I haven't played much with this, but I'll take you through it anyway. So they have an automated ad program now where they will set up the ads for you automatically, which I think this is a little dangerous because I don't think I mean, who knows? You'll have to test it and try. Everything is about testing, right? So it might work for your business and not for another business, but basically it'll walk you through a series of questions that will try to determine what your best targeting is, and then it will prompt you to add media, and then it will prompt you to add copy, and then you can run your ad. So again, I don't recommend that. I haven't played with it, so there's no way I wouldn't do that. The second one is the choose your goals, which is a little similar to the ads manager, but it does have some different goals than the ad managers have. So like get more leads is great. Get in contact with people, more website visitors. But again, you just have a lot less access when it comes to the targeting and the placements than you do when you use the Facebook Ads Manager. And I know the Ads Manager can feel overwhelming, but if you're going to spend the money, it's worth learning because I think you'll get better results and better tracking. So anyways, and then the last thing is boost post. And same thing, they make it really easy. You could just boost a post really quickly, but same issues as far as not having good control over targeting. I mean, we actually do boost posts here because, you spend a lot of time creating content and, when only 20 people see it, you want to put a little money behind it so that you at least get eyeballs on it. But I've noticed even for that, I'll typically run my boost from the ad manager so that I have control over placement and have control over targeting. You just have more targeting controls, but whatever is you're most comfortable with and whatever works for your business is fine as well. But I don't advocate for this. At least not yet. Maybe when it gets better. So right here next to this is going to be a create story button, and this is pretty cool. So you can actually schedule your stories for Facebook and Instagram now. Couple caveats. It's not super sophisticated yet. So you can't add like link stickers, and it doesn't have all the cool things that Facebook has or that Instagram has on their stories. But I'll show you really quick. For example, you can upload your stories, and you can, for Instagram and Facebook, you can view what they look like. And you can actually share it directly from your business suite. So that means you don't have to go on to your phone and get the photo to your phone and then upload it to your phone. So a couple drawbacks is like, for example, for this post, it doesn't work because we want to have a link to order now, right? And so the link sticker is not available in the business suite yet. I'm sure it will come eventually. But you do have some option for stickers here, but nowhere near what you have on Instagram and sort of the ability to play with stuff on Instagram. You don't have that here, but I mean, scheduling is pretty great. You can add some text, and you can crop it. So I would highly suggest, and you can also schedule this for Facebook and Instagram at the same time or separate. I would highly suggest designing these inside of a design tool like a Canva or something like that. So get it exactly the way you want it and then upload it. So you can upload up to 10 videos and photos for the stories and just have them scheduled. So one thing is, you see this swipe up link. So supposedly it'll provide a swipe up link. So I have a couple accounts with larger followings and it doesn't work, or it didn't work for me. So maybe it will work for or maybe they fixed the bug, but currently it isn't working. So I wouldn't count on it. Here's one other great feature, the optimal time. So Facebook has rolled this out for all of them. So they will give you, if you select your date, they're going to give you some suggestions on when your followers are on Facebook and Instagram the most, which is fantastic. So anyways, I love that. Cool. So that is the stories. So you can push it or you can schedule it, whatever you like, but either way saves a ton of time if you don't need a link in that story. Next thing is create a post. Same thing here. So you can actually schedule your post directly on Facebook and Instagram from the business suite. Here's what's pretty cool about it. So here you can upload up to 10 photos for Instagram. On Facebook, I believe you can upload tons of photos, but for Instagram, you are limited to 10. But this is great because a lot of the third-party apps don't allow you to schedule carousel posts, and they're great. to have multiple photos, right? So that's wonderful. So the other cool thing is on Facebook and Instagram, you communicate slightly different, right? You might use more hashtags on Instagram. The ad tags are different, things like that. And a lot of times what you see is people will post on Instagram and then they push it to Facebook. But honestly, as a business, that's pretty sloppy. I mean, I get it when you do it for your personal. I mean, I do it for my personal too, but for your business, you're marketing your brand. So to not have the tags correctly and to not be communicating in a way that's effective is bad for your brand. So this is fantastic that you can now customize using the same media, so the same video or photo, which most of us do, and then customize the copy that goes along with it to work for each platform. So another cool feature they added in here was they added a hashtag generator, so you can see some of the hashtags that are trending, and you can search. So like if you, like we work with restaurants, we could search different food stuff. Let's see, like steak, and select different hashtags to use there and see what their numbers are. So in the past we used to use like 30 hashtags on Instagram, but it's been years since that has been an effective strategy. So we've seen that 5 delivers about the same amount as using 30 these days. And then on Facebook, haven't really seen much of a push or much of a reason to use the hashtags anymore. So we've moved away from it, but I noticed inside the scheduler, they also have the hashtag generator for Facebook. So maybe something to pay attention to as we move forward. So on these also, you can add links, and if you have shopping set up, which for my account, obviously we don't have shopping set up, but we worked with an account who did, and you can actually go ahead and tag your products and everything, and they're all set up for people to purchase and buy easily on both the Facebook and Instagram app. So this is pretty great feature. And then again, they have the optimal time option here, and then you can either publish directly or you can schedule. So pretty awesome. Excuse me. So to your right here, this is just a fun little thing that they added where you can set your goals. So I actually kind of like it because you get in here and you see like, oh, I've only, like I'm trying to post 3 times a week and we haven't done it yet. So the way you set this up is you can use these 3 ellipses. You just click on them and you'll see you have a share regularly or reach more people. So I just have share regularly, and then I did 3 days a week, and then I selected a start date of yesterday. So they provide some little fun tips here, and another place to create a post. A lot of call to actions on here. Second here, this is a to-do list. So if you have any comments or questions that are comments from your user base, you'll see like the messages here, and then underneath here, if you don't have a task manager that you use, you could definitely set task up for your for your team here. And I would always also guess, which I'll show you when we get to the inbox feature, that that if you leave messages for your employees or your staff to follow up on, they'll probably see them here too as well. And then if you come down here, you want to think about this homepage as like a dashboard, right, for your social media. So if you come down here, you're going to see all your recent posts. You're going to see the number of people it reached, how many reactions, how many comments you got, and also another option to boost here. And if you hover over these posts, you can see edit posts, duplicate posts, delete posts, which is great. Like for example, today I had a client that needed to cancel something, and it was easy to jump in here and delete the post for both Facebook and Instagram without having to get on the phone and log in and do all the things. So that's a wonderful quick way to do that. If you look here to the right, you're going to see some of your statistics for the last 28 days. So your Facebook reach, your Instagram reach, and then your audience for on Instagram, how many people are following you and how many page likes. And as you scroll down, you'll see all the recent stories you posted, and then a quick view of the planner, which I'll dive into each one of these. Great. And then the other thing I really like here on the homepage is here on the right-hand side, you're going to see what's new in the business suite. So it just tells you what's new. I think they're constantly changing stuff. So it's a great little place to get news of what's happening. So as we move down, so that's basically the home page. And then you have notifications. I hate notifications on this thing. I think it's terrible. It does kind of show you everything that's happened, who's liked your stuff, if your boost posts have been approved, should your post, you should post this one, all the things. I find it all very confusing and noisy. So I really don't use notifications all that much. So one of my favorite features of this is the, so let me close this, is the inbox. So I think they've done a really great job with the inbox. So the inbox basically takes all your messages from Facebook, Instagram, Instagram DMs, your stories, all of them. And you can even do a chat plugin, which I've never set up, but it just basically allows Messenger on your website. And so you can communicate with people through your website through Messenger. So what's awesome is it puts all your messages in one place. And if you want, you can also work through, each one to decide, if that's easier to manage. So let's just say we go on Instagram direct, so you can like, or you can heart comments, you can write back. Same thing on Facebook. I do find the Facebook comments a little harder to follow, especially if you have, so like for our page, we don't have a ton of engagement. So, but on accounts where we have thousands of comments a day, it is hard to really see which is the new comments that need to be taken care of. But as far as for a smaller account, this is great. And you can easily like and reply, and you can click on and invite the people who've liked your content to follow your page. So it's great. So where I really see that's really great is on the Instagram comments, because when you're doing everything on a phone, that's a little difficult. So to be able to handle the Instagram comments and be able to also heart the comments, I think is really great. I really like acknowledging comments on social. I know maybe some brands don't, but I think it's really great because to me, if someone takes the time, obviously not the bots or whatever, but if people take the time to like the content, why wouldn't you say thank you? Like with a little heart. It's almost like I equate it to, a lot of times people think like, oh, social is this magical place that you go and your business just explodes, but it's really not. It's just like it is in the real world. So let's just say someone walks by and says something nice to you or comments on whatever your business, you wouldn't just ignore them. You would acknowledge them. You'd say hi. You'd have a little conversation. So it's the same way on social media. So when people leave comments, and to me, if you don't heart or respond back, it's like you've just ignored them. And that's not a good way to build affinity for your brand. In fact, we have a very large client that they respond to pretty much all of their comments, and thousands of comments a day, and they have definitely seen it drive sales because they've created this army of people who are so enthusiastic about their brand. So I know for most people it's a much smaller scale, but still, if you got 20 people out there like singing your praises, that's a good thing, for all the people they talk to and when they share on their social media, and it creates that word of mouth. So you want to act the same way online as you would offline. You want to be kind. So anyways, so you can see here, like you have, like, so we did this holiday season post where we asked people to share their, where we asked people to share, their favorite holiday traditions. So what's cool is if you, so normally you would either use like a Sprout Social or whatever, and you could comment back, but you can't actually like the comment. You can't heart the comment on Instagram from a third-party tool. But with this inbox, you actually can. You just press the love, so you can love right here, and you can also reply here, whatever you want to say, and then once it's done, you just click the arrow, and it brings it to the done box. So the other cool thing is, like, let's say that this comment needed to be here. We'll go back to all messages. So let's just say this comment here needed to be handled. So I could star it and mark it as a follow-up, and then I can assign this conversation to one of my people. so that they could then follow up with this person, whoever is appropriate to handle it. So I think that's pretty awesome as well. So you can also, mark things as spam. You can delete the conversation, and then you can move to done. I love move to done because then like the comment's been handled, it's been taken care of, everyone's been acknowledged, and I think that the community engagement is as important as the content. So it's important to engage with your people. That's how you build affinity and relationships. Just like you do offline, you still build them that way online. So my soapbox. The next thing is posts and stories. So this is pretty cool. You can see everything. So first, you can, of course, create a post or create a story. They have that everywhere just to make it easy for you. But here you're going to be able to see everything you've published. You can quickly boost it if you want, and you can get a little rundown of stats, which is cool. You can, if you want, you can say, I just want to see what's posted on Facebook, and you can decide, like, I just want to see the last 7 days, and you're just going to see the last 7 days of content. And you can also customize what you're seeing in the columns, like what's important to you. Like maybe impressions aren't important to you, but maybe reaches, maybe engagement is. So you can customize this view for what's important to you, right? From here, so this would be published. You can also see what you have scheduled, which we don't have any content scheduled yet. We're still writing it for next month. And then here you can also have drafts scheduled. So like if you want someone to create like a couple posts, but you don't, you need the team to approve it, they can go ahead and write drafts and it'll show up here. So you have a similar thing for the stories. So you could see what's active right now, what's going, and it has 16 hours remaining. You can see who's actually viewed it here. You can see what stories you have scheduled, and you can also see the stories that have been archived over the months. So that's pretty awesome. And same sort of thing here, you can create posts and create stories. Next is the feed and grid. So when I first saw this, I was really excited because I was like, oh my gosh, you can see the grid. But you can't see the grid of the scheduled content. So you can go like, okay, like I want to see the last 7 days or the last 14 days of the grid, which this isn't working actually because we posted more than one time in the last 14 days. But anyways, if you do lifetime, it will show you what your feed is looking like. On Instagram. But you can just view your Instagram and see this too. So I'm really not loving this, and I'm looking at it, it's actually not pulling in all the appropriate content. So if it were where I could see my scheduled content here, I would think that'd be really cool, but it's still good to know about because, something, you just never know. It may end up they may improve it as we go along. And then here you can see your Facebook feed as well. So just good to know that it's here. The next thing is your Facebook photos. So I think that this one has some definite potentials if they add filters and ability to search for the photos, because you still have the same kind of problem that you have on the regular Facebook pages when you come in here and you go all Facebook photos. I mean, you got thousands. We've been in business 11 years, so we have thousands of photos to go through, and every year a client goes, oh, can we find the photo from blah 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 time, and you spend 2 hours searching through photos on Facebook. Or like when we did our 11-year anniversary post, I probably spent 3 hours looking for photos over the last 11 years to represent the people who've worked here and stuff. So although this is cool because you can see it all in one place, it's a little easier. It's still a gang of photos to go through, and hopefully they'll put some filters in so you could search by time frame or something like that. But still good to know is here, and from here you can also create an album, which you can do on the main page, but this seems like it might be a little easier, a little more seamless on this end. So you would just go create an album, name it, and go back and upload. Next, this is kind of interesting, the mentions and tags. I do like this. However, I'm curious why it's not with the inbox, because if you think about the mentions and tags are people engaging with your business, so that feels like part of a messaging thing, but it's kind of hidden here under posts and stories, but this is great. So I feel like sometimes on Facebook, when you get mentioned, your business gets mentioned, sometimes it gets missed. You just don't see it. Maybe it was in the notifications. I don't know. It's not always the easiest thing to find. So here, if you come to mentions and tags, you can see who's mentioned you and you can respond to them. So Facebook, you can actually respond directly here without leaving the business suite, which is great. But if you prefer, you can see the post on Facebook. That way you can, I don't know, it just might feel more comfortable to you to respond that way. Or you can copy this link, which I think is really cool because you could share that with your team. So say, for example, maybe you got a really great post. If you're a restaurant, maybe you got a really great post about a party you threw for a client. It might be fun to share that with your team. Or let's say you got an unhappy customer and you want to discuss on how you should respond with the team, then you can actually copy the link and send it to everyone so that they can view it together. I believe you probably do need to have a Facebook account in order to do that, but for everyone to be able to view it. But I think that's a pretty great feature because getting a link for a specific Facebook post has always been an issue. Now, Instagram has its own thing. You can't actually respond to the location tags are mentioned inside the business suite, but they have a view on Instagram here. And then once you're in here, as long as you're logged into your business profile, you can respond and like and all those kinds of things here. Also the feature to share the link here, so you could copy the link and then send it to your team if you want them to view. But I think this is a pretty cool feature. You can share to your stories right from here. So this is things most people are doing these days is when someone tags or mentions you, you share it to your story to basically show it off. So you can actually do that right from your business manager without logging on to Instagram and doing it that way. So anyways, I think that's great. Next, you have the planner. So the planner is great. So it's really here to help you plan out your social media content for a week or a month at a time, however you want, a few days at a time. But it gives you, when you first log in, it shows you the week view, but you can also view by the month, and you can easily go through the different months and the different weeks by pushing these arrows. It's going to show you everything that's been scheduled or posted. So the scheduled would only be if you actually scheduled it using the business suite. Obviously, if you use Hootsuite, it's not going to show in here, but it will show once it's posted. So from here, just have a look at all this. You can drill down to just post, and you can drill down to stories, and you can drill down to ads. You can also say, I just want to see the stuff that's scheduled or was posted on Facebook, and it'll drill it down, and I only want to see post, right? And so it's going to give you your post that you posted, and then if you click on it, you can see, how many reactions you have and what the post performance was. So that's kind of cool. Over here, they've added this feature called Moments, which will tell you just the holidays and the social media holidays and things that are showing up, just to help spawn ideas for you to make content for your social pages. You can also add your own moments. So like all businesses, you have anniversaries and certain times of years that you do sales and things that come up. So you can go ahead and add those moments as you remember them, and then Facebook will remind you to create content around them, which is pretty awesome. Now, here's another place that you can also create and schedule content. So you have this big blue button called Create and a drop-down menu, so you can create a post, create a story, or create an ad. And those can either be for scheduling directly or for posting right away. So it's the same as I showed you earlier. Same features, nothing's different, just another place to do it. And then also within here, you can say you just wanted to, you're like, oh, I need to do a post for the 6th. You can press that plus sign. You could do schedule posts or schedule story, or if you click anywhere on there, you'll get a schedule. You can pick an optimal time, and then you can do your content there. So that will just take you for a regular post. So lots of places for you to schedule content. So I really think that, I really think that that is such a, the planner is such a great tool and can help you just stay on top of your social media. Like a lot of times what happens is, your business happens and then you don't have time to deal with the marketing of it. And the marketing is just as important as all the other things that we need to do, because we need to stay top of mind so people remember we're here and remember to buy from us and remember to support us. And if we never communicate, it doesn't help that, doesn't help. So anyways, the next thing is the ads. So I kind of went over that earlier. So this is separate from the ads manager, so I'm not going to go into that. But you can click here, and if you are playing with this sort of simplified ads, you can go in here and create the ads and stuff. But I don't have much experience with it, and I'm not a big fan, so I'm not going to go through it. The next thing is the insights. So the insights would basically be your reporting tool. So I feel like one of the biggest things I see with business owners is they don't look at reporting. Like, I think it's really important to see what actually works. So each month we make videos that goes through reporting, but most people don't actually watch them. But if you do, you can kind of learn over time what's working and what's happening, and also what's happening with Facebook, because like 1 month you'll have really great impressions and the next month the impressions like drop out. And so you can kind of see that if you're looking at reporting month over month. So anyways, so on the insight tabs, the overview, you can think about it basically like a dashboard where you're getting an idea of what's happening. So you can see your paid reach, so any organic or any traffic you've actually paid for. You can see what your organic page reach is, which means your free reach, and then you can see what your Instagram reach is. You're going to see your content, same sort of thing. It's going to show you, you can sort by reach or by likes or comments, whatever's most important, and see which posts are performing the best. Now, if you look at this and each month and make notes of it, it can kind of help you determine your content strategy, because you can go, oh, my audience really resonates with, posts that are more personal. So we find that here, of course, that most of the content that people resonate with isn't the like pretty shiny content that we curate and make. It's usually like a picture of, like, case in point, like picture of Megan and her kids, or like this one was like behind the scenes video Ashley made. Those usually are the ones that do the best, or the story, where we do videos or things like that. So anyways, you can kind of determine, and it's different for every business. So it's not just one, it depends what your followers are interested in or why they follow your brand. So next is your audience. So it'll take you through the audience. We'll just give you a quick breakdown of the demo of the audience, where they're from, or the number of likes, and when you dive a little deeper, you can see where they're from. So, and then each one of these, the results has its own tab, which dives a little deeper into the reach, the page and profile visits, the new likes, any kind of ad trends you have, content. You can dig deep into, what content is performing the best for you, and you can drill down, based on platforms and content style. And then lastly is the audience, where you can actually see where your people are living. So this is always interesting to look at if you've had an account where they purchase followers, or you've been using bots, because you'll be able to see here that the people are usually located outside the US. So, I know everyone wants to have like a humongous following, but if it's a humongous following and none of the people are in the area where they can buy your products and service, it doesn't matter. So it'd be better to have 500 people who are way more engaged and are interested in your brand, or cheerleaders for your brand, instead of 5,000 people who don't live in the area and can't visit your restaurant or buy your trinkets or whatever. So just keep that in mind. I think everyone gets caught up in the vanity of the follows, how many follows we have, but it's really silly. So anyways, the next thing is all tools. So all tools, you have, these are some of the older, like the Creator Studio is an old product that I believe seems like they're phasing out that the Business Suite will eventually replace. But again, here, another place where you can post stories, another place where you can access the inbox, the planners, the post and story. These are the exact same features that I just showed you that are right here. So they just have it in multiple places. Next, you have the billing, and the billing will take you to your invoices for your Facebook ads. Because mostly people need to download the invoices, so you'll want to see that, and also just to double check your billing to make sure you were billed correctly from Facebook. This is any kind of business apps will be here. The file manager is where you can upload photos and content that you're going to be using for ads. This is kind of a new feature, so we'll see. We haven't started using that much, but it is does look interesting, where you can manage a lot of your business assets there, or your business images and videos for upload. Let me go back, and here is your page settings. So this will actually take you to the back end of your page. So it will take you to general messaging, page info, all the stuff that sort of manages the back end of your page that you can make sort of tweaks on there. And you can view your page here as well. And then in here you get into advertising. So you have your ads, which is separate from your ads manager. I don't know why they do that. I think it's one of the most confusing things. So the ads manager is where I run most of my ads, where you're going to run your conversion ads, your lead ads, stuff like that. You'll find here. Audiences is where you can go and set up your custom audiences, your lookalike audiences here. And events manager is where you can set up your here, we'll just click over and show you, but you can set up your pixels and set up the different events that you're going to use for tracking. Instant forms, that's actually for the lead forms, the lead ads. So you can set up your different lead capture forms here, which is much better, because before you used to have to go to like the back end of your Facebook page and set it up there, and it was very clunky. So I think that this is actually a really great change here. We'll see, because I haven't played with the new change yet, but we'll see if we like it. But I think it will be good. And then down here, you're going to have some ad reporting, more insights, and you can integrate these appointment and services here if that's applicable for your business. We don't use it, but I'm sure it has lots of valuable uses. And then the last thing is the settings. So if you're like me, I've been using the business manager for quite some time, and with the rollout of the business suite, now I'm having a really hard time finding my business manager. And they keep moving it. I was having a hard time finding my ads manager for a while, but I fixed that by doing a direct link. But now the ads manager is easily located under all tools, so you can access your ad manager from here under advertising. So they fixed that. So the business manager is going to be under settings. So under settings, you can now find your business account info. This is your business ID. So a lot of times when you work with partners, we need this business ID to get access to your backend, to your business manager or your business suite as partners instead of as employees. So sometimes you will need to have this ID, or if you happen to get selected to work directly with Facebook, which they sometimes do on the ads, they're going to be asking you for this number, and that's where you found it. Before, it was located in your business manager, and now it's been moved over to here. It seems to me like the business manager maybe will be phased out, or it's going to be limited use. We'll see what happens. I'll be curious. Here you can add people to your pages, which is great. And you just go add people, and you can actually put their business email address in. It doesn't have to be their Facebook email address, even though, this is so weird, when you invite them, they're going to log in with their personal Facebook login, but it's going to be tied to their business email address, so it keeps it separate. And so this is much nicer, because when you add an admin to the personal page, you have to be personal friends with them. And you may not want to be personal friends with them. You don't know what their political beliefs are or their whatever, and maybe they want to keep that separate. So we don't all need to be Facebook friends. We can keep stuff, separate. And you can also have, control the access, employee access, admin access. And it's also great when people leave, because instead of having to go through the different pages and remove access, everything's in one location. You can remove them very quickly from the access of the pages. So this one is your business assets. So this is going to list all the pages that you manage, all the ad accounts you have access to, all the Instagram accounts you have access to, which is great, all in one place. Again, this is usually housed in the business manager. And then here, this request feature is like when someone's added you to their business manager or its notification. Half the time it doesn't work, so I never use it. Um, and then here is where you're actually going to access your business manager. This is where they've moved it. So it's underneath the more business settings, and then you'll see your old school business manager here, where you can add your admins and partners and do all the things here that you were doing before in the business manager. It's hit or miss whether people were using this anyways, but as an agency, you're kind of forced to use it. So I got pretty comfortable with it. So I'm like, what happened to it? Anyways, so yeah, so back to this, you have your ad account settings here, and then billing again, and that's pretty much a wrap. But overall, I think it's pretty, I like where it's going, and I'm sure it's just going to get better as we go along. And if you need help or have questions, reach out or leave a comment or send us an email. We're happy to help you get it set up or answer any questions. And thanks again. Bye-bye.